And I think you're going to demonstrate a reader for us now, are you? Is it the Moon ebook reader?
The moon, yeah, the moon. So the moon reader, I am going to go into my ebook folder and find the Moon Reader Pro. Now you have a regular Moon Reader, and then if you buy the Pro, of course, what that does, it removes those pesky ads and things like that, and that's about the difference that there is between the regular Moon Reader and the Moon Reader Pro.
Folder, missed, 4 more items. Folder, ebook readers, Kindle, folder opened, Easy Reader, Moon Plus Reader Pro. Moon Plus Reader Pro. Scroll view 01.
Now here I am in my Moon Reader. I actually had a book that I was already reading. I think it was Frankenstein, by Mary Shelley, back in the 1700s or, something like that. It doesn't let you see that the text is there, but the text is not exposed to our screen reader like what you would have on a Kindle. And as a result of that, you will need to use the TTS function to read the book. And just like I described earlier about changing the TTS engines for the Kindle, if you want to use a different one, you'll have to do that same process I was talking about when it comes to reading the Kindle with a different TTS engine apart from your main TTS engine. The same thing applies here with the Moon Reader. Okay, so I am in Moon Reader now, and I want to show the quick overview of what it looks like. So on the top left corner,
Moon Plus Reader Pro button.
That is like the navigation drawer. If I tap here,
menu,
then we have things like
recent list, recent
list, my shelf, my files, net library. And I want to talk about this net library, but let's finish going through the items in here.
Bookmarks, options,
about. Okay.
Options.
Now,
bookmarks, net library.
Net libraries, for those of you, if you like classics, this is where you can find classic books to read for free. So I'm going to go in here. And here,
Project Gutenberg, the first producer of free ebooks since 1971, enlisted.
So here is Project Gutenberg.
Overflow 1 button.
And then to the left of each is something that says Overflow. If you tap there, then you can go to Project Gutenberg. So for instance, if I tap here.
Pop-up window, open, enlist.
There's open. Edit. And so if I tap on open,
Moon Plus Reader Pro, Overflow 1 button, enlist.
That is opening the Gutenberg project site.
Latest releases.
So
random books.
Random books.
Our latest releases. Our most popular books.
I'm going to go to popular books, for example.
Sort alphabetically, showing items 1 to 10 of 27. For Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen.
So
The Great Gatsby, F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Let's say I want to get Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen. Pride and Prejudice, Austen, Jane, showing items 1 to 2 of 2.
Now, when you tap on a book, you have two versions of that same book. There's one that has images and one without images. So if you're someone who would like your book to have images, then you want to choose the second choice. The first one is always the one without images. So for instance, if I tap on the first one.
Net library, out of list. Pride and Prejudice, Austen, Jane.
That's the first one. So if I tap here.
Moon Plus Reader Pro. This edition had all images removed. Title: Pride and Prejudice note.
So you see that says it has all images removed. I'm going to go back and click on the second one.
Pride and Prejudice, Austen, Jane.
Tab.
Moon Plus Reader Pro. This edition has images. Title: Pride and Prejudice note.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the one without the images.
Pride and Prejudice, Austen, Jane. Moon Plus. This edition had all images removed. Title: Pride and Prejudice note.
Now, at the bottom of your phone are two buttons. The one to the left is the download, and then the one to the farther right edge of the phone is the read. And if I touch the read, of course, it's going to say unavailable or something because I haven't downloaded the book.
Read button disabled.
is disabled. Now, to the left of that, on the left edge corner, I will have the download.
Available formats. EPUB 420 KB.
So there's available formats here, and I prefer the EPUB.
Download button.
And I tap here, and it's going to download the EPUB.
Download https://www.gutenberg.org/ebook/1342.epub.noimages.
Okay, so I think it is downloaded.
Read button.
I need to tap on the read. So if I tap here on read.
Moon Plus Reader Pro. Scroll view 01.
So it says scroll view, and there's nothing here.
Scroll view 01.
Okay, so in order to be able to read this with my TTS engine, I have to double tap somewhere here in the middle or near the top, and it'll pop up menus near the top that would quickly disappear after like 3 or so seconds. So it's important that when you tap here near the top or in the middle or wherever, that you find that thing near the top right that says something about menu, for instance. So I'm going to tap.
Right battery 54 men up button. Moon Plus
So
Reader Pro.
men up. So you tap there.
Pop-up window. Visual options enlisted.
And so we got things like visual options.
Control options. Miscellaneous. Themes. Names replacement. More operations. Share.
So what you need is more operations.
More operations. Pop-up window. Speak. Text to speech enlisted.
The first thing here is text to speech. If I tap here.
Text selection. Speak. Text to speech.
So speak.
Forgotten. Moon Plus Reader Pro. Scroll view 01 out of list.
Upon tapping on that, then it shows buttons at the bottom that I could use to manipulate the text or, the TTS engine.
Scroll view 01. Scroll view 01.
And of course, it quickly disappear.
Scroll view 01.
So I have to tap.
Pause.
There we go. So if I tap anywhere, now it shows them at the bottom.
Volume, pitch, speed. Slider, 44%.
And so
volume, scroll view 01.
At the bottom left,
TTS stop, but volume,
I have
pitch, slider, 44%, slider, 50%. Volume, TTS slider, 44, TTS page up, button.
So there's TTS page up.
TTS prior, button.
TTS prior.
TTS play, button.
There's play.
TTS next, button.
Next.
TTS page down, button.
Page down.
TTS options, button.
Options, and you can go here and change the TTS you want to use. But it takes you to your TTS settings where you can choose your main TTS.
TTS more options, button.
And TTS more options. Here, when you go in here, let's see what the
TTS options. Divide content by.
This.
Drop down list. Full stop. Dot. Sets. Button. Stop TTS after. Checkbox. Not checked. 10. Edit box. Minutes.
So you can set as to when to stop reading.
Show confirmation dialog before speak.
And,
box, not checked.
And that's how you go about that. So I'm going to go back here.
Moon Plus Reader Pro. TTS more options. Button. TTS options. Button.
Go back to that play.
TTS page down. Button. TTS next. Button. TTS play. Button. And the effort with the formation and the perusal of his letter must occasion should have been spared, and not my character required it to be written and read. You must, therefore, pardon the freedom with which I demand your attention.
So I just double tap there to stop it. Now,
Pause.
I tap anywhere, it just starts the reading again. And it does support table of contents.
Volume, pitch, speed, scroll view 01.
Let me see if I can find where to go to the table of contents, because like I was saying, I think this is one of the most important things for me when I'm reading an ebook. And
volume, pitch, speed.
So I'm going to stop the
TTS stop button. TTS stop.
Now, again, in order to find the table of contents, we need to tap now and look on the top and find where it talks about table of contents or something like that. I haven't used this thing in a while, so let me double tap anywhere on the screen. Okay.
Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen, Meta, button. Pride and Prejudice, Spackley, button. Scroll view 0. Spackley, Pride and Prejudice, Meta, button.
Okay, maybe it's in the menu.
Control options. Miscellaneous. Control options.
Let me see.
Themes. Names replacement. Themes. Miscellaneous. Control options.
In the control options.
Screen orientation. Drop down list. Portrait. Sensor. Shake phone. Drop down list. Speak. Text to speech.
So you can shake it to, you could choose to use the shake to speak, and it will read your book, for instance.
Screen touch control. Tap screen top. Drop-down list. Page up. Disabled. Tap screen bottom. Drop-down list. Page down.
So you
Disabled.
can choose what touching the top screen or tapping the top screen does.
Toggle tap mode. Checkbox. Checked. Set tap mode. Button. Tap screen left. Drop-down list. Page up. Tap screen right. Drop-down list. Page down. Long tab on screen. Drop-down list. Text selection. Set long top. Button.
So you can change these things. For instance, if I want to,
Drop-down list. Text selection.
like if I want
Long tab on screen.
long tab on the screen, if I want to change it to something else,
Drop-down list. Text selection. Pop-up window. Close Moon Plus Reader and list.
and you could have,
Text selection. Checked. Auto scroll. Speed. Text to speech.
you could make it do text to speech.
Brightness. Visual options. Control options. Miscellaneous. Page move up. Page move down.
So let's say
Page
I'll
move
go
up.
choose
Miscellaneous.
the
Control option. Visual options. Brightness. Speed. Text to speech. Speed.
Speak.
Text to speech. Control options. Drop down list. Speed. Text to speech. Out of list.
So I have set the
Long tab on screen.
long tab to
Drop down list. Speed. Text to
to
speech.
speak, and you can change it anywhere here
Set
that
on
you
top.
want,
Key press control. Back key. Drop down list. Close Moon Plus Reader.
and you could choose what you want the back key to do.
Menu key. Drop down list. Control options. Search key. Drop down list. Search. Camera key. Drop down list. None. Volume key up. Drop down list. Page up. Volume key down. Drop down list. Page down. Add up. Drop down list. Page up. Add down. Drop down list.
You
Page down.
you got the drift here. There's a lot of customization with this ebook reader, but what I wanted to find was the table of contents, because like I said, it is important for me to find that table of contents. So let me look.
Scroll view 01. Button unlabeled.
I think one of
Button unlabeled.
these unlabeled
Button
buttons,
unlabeled.
and
Button unlabeled.
that's the
Button unlabeled.
problem. And
Exit one-handed mode. Landscape.
oop, I
Moon
just
Plus Reader
flipped to
row. Scroll view
one-handed
01.
mode. But that is what it is with ebook. Moon Reader Pro or Moon Reader. You'll have to label this. And once upon a time, I used to have all of these things labeled, and I don't think I have that anymore because I haven't used it in a while. So that would be the Moon Reader Pro, guys. If you want to use Moon Reader, it's a good option to read your ebooks, but then you have to go through a lot of settings and customization, and this thing has it all.
Thanks, Warren. Not an app I was previously familiar with, so really good to hear about that.